welcome to the Untold, another exciting edition with your lovely host Hussein Ajouz and Ahmad ALMazeedi right here. Today we're going to talk about a specific condition that is quite common sometimes. You know, we see it happen.
Perhaps. Yeah.
And we want to educate people on it.
Yeah.
We want to share more information about it, as well as having mental health awareness.
Of course, which is a field that's perhaps taken for granted. We need more awareness on it, and
Right.
thanks to the Untold, to be honest,
Yeah.
we get to sit with a lot of people that advocate for mental health.
Yeah. And let's not waste any time
Yeah,
because
let's do
this is
it.
a very important episode, and we'll start it right now. We're back on the show, welcoming a very special guest, Mohammed Waheedi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you.
Thanks.
So, I believe you have a special story to share with us, and it is about having MS and your life with it and how you dealt with it. So, please, let's start.
Yeah, so my MS journey, if you like,
Yeah, the MS
started
journey.
in 2019. At the time, I didn't know it was MS, but I had difficulty with my arm. It stopped working properly. I stopped being able to write.
Okay.
So there was a lot of weakness. I didn't know what was going on. But the symptoms went away after a few months.
Okay.
And then fast forward to 2022,
Okay.
I think. Yeah. Then I had the same symptoms with my legs.
With your legs.
And then that's when I realized that there's
What was
something
the
going on.
initial diagnosis when you went and checked it, or you never checked it?
I did, but in 2019,
19? What did
I
they
was in
say?
uni and I guess I didn't follow up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't follow.
Yeah.
Just you thought it's something
Yeah.
temporary that's just.
I mean, the
gonna-
life of a student abroad, can be tricky.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
can we actually tell the viewers what MS is?
Yes.
Yeah, so MS is it's an autoimmune disease. So there's about 80, actually more than 80 types of autoimmune diseases.
Yeah.
All of them concern the immune system attacking, mistakenly attacking the body, so normal cells. The immune system is supposed to attack foreign cells. So with MS specifically, the immune system is attacking cells in the brain and the spinal
Yeah.
cord. So
Wow.
that's where it's,
That's
so there's a very wide range of symptoms with that because each person gets affected with different parts of their brain or
course,
spinal
yeah.
cord. Yeah. With me, it was the limbs, so my
The
arm,
limbs.
my leg.
so it basically feels numb, or
There's numbness, there's
Uh-huh.
tingling, there's but also weakness.
weakness.
So my grip stopped.
It was your right arm
Yeah,
and your right hand the dominant, right?
exactly,
so it
exactly. So
wasn't-
my left hand
yeah.
was better than my right hand.
Did you actually start
I did.
being able to write with your left?
I didn't, but it
Oh.
was almost the same.
Okay.
So
Wow. I mean, that must have affected your life tremendously. I mean,
Yeah.
not being able to do things that you thought
yeah,
are basic, like holding
Yeah,
a cup, for
holding a
example.
cup.
I mean,
exactly. So I dropped a lot of plates and made a lot of mess.
Messes.
so you must have been like, I mean, at the moment, that must have been very shocking, and I'm sure, I don't know, how did it go around your family? I mean, were you did you sound like, I mean, how can I say this? Did people think you're being just dramatic about certain situations, or did people actually appreciate that, hey, listen, something is wrong?
Well, I wasn't around my family at the time. I was in uni.
Yeah, in the
Oh,
UK.
so you were alone.
And the
Yeah.
symptoms were 3 months, but with distance, I did call my family, and they did seem concerned. But when I got the diagnosis, I did feel a bit of relief. You
That
know,
there,
I'm
there
sure.
is something,
because
like you
there's
finally
some
found out what it is.
Exactly.
I'm
And-
sure, yes.
Yeah, and you can. There's a path to not necessarily fix it, but
Manage it,
Manage
right?
it,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
So how is it that people get MS? I mean,
Oh,
it's not genetic, is it?
well. So
Could be.
it's very tricky. We don't know what causes
Oh.
it, but we do know it's a combination of genetics and environmental factors. So with environmental factors, I guess there's certain things like vitamin D deficiency.
Deficiencies.
There's some supporting evidence of low vitamin D and the causing of MS.
Yeah.
So nutrition played the role, you would say?
Nutrition is
Yeah.
huge, yeah.
Huge.
But
You've invested a lot of time and effort into researching this, obviously.
yeah, yeah. So what I've seen is nutrition is one of the biggest things,
Biggest factor.
but it takes a lot of discipline to actually
Right.
implement it.
Yeah.
So what kind
So-
of diet you think you would need to be on?
So there's a lot of diets, and basically they work on different people.
Different
so
people.
it
So
depends.
it's not one size fit all.
Exactly. But there's a Terry Wall's protocol.
Terry Wall's.
I didn't know
What's
it
that?
before, but
Okay.
a doctor told me about it.
Which means?
So it's like a version of paleo. Have you heard of
Oh yeah.
paleo diets?
Yeah.
No, please enlighten me. I have no idea.
Okay.
What is it?
So you know, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's more like how our ancestors used to eat. So
It's like similar to keto, but
Yeah.
it has a bit of carbs.
it does have
It
carbs.
does have carbs.
Okay.
Let's think keto with carbs, but
Yeah.
good carbs, I guess.
Good carbs and
Right.
and the meat, like
Yeah.
you eat
It's all meats, yeah.
like organs of the animal. So
Yeah. Did
Very-
you actually follow that
I
diet?
didn't know.
You did not.
No, I didn't. There's also supporting evidence about the Mediterranean diet.
Our diet is considered Mediterranean.
I
in
guess
a
so.
way, yeah?
So that would be fish,
Fish.
Vegetarian.
Veg-
vegetables, a lot of
Vegetables, a lot of
vegetables. So
Hummus, man. Hummus.
hummus, you know.
Now you're making me hungry.
I mean, just gotta be real.
Yeah.
It's all about the hummus.
So, yeah, hummus definitely.
Definitely.
With passion.
This show is sponsored by hummus.
Okay, fair. So, I mean, what other I mean, let's take. I mean, you're obviously someone that's you're fighting this. Are you still fighting? Because you're talking in past tense. I mean, you face these things.
Yeah.
Are you still facing anything? Is this still a problem in your life where you're?
So actually, so it's been 1 year, and
Okay.
last week, yeah, I did the
You had a-
MRI test.
Okay.
So every year I do an MRI test, which is good. So you can kind of catch it if it gets worse, you know. And
Okay.
there is a chance of it getting worse. So the MRI shows new lesions. Lesions are the
That are causing
attacks.
okay.
Yeah. So if there's new attacks, it would show on the MRI.
We're
Okay.
talking. So everything originates at the brain level
Yeah, and the spinal cord.
and the
Spinal
spinal
cord.
cord.
Yeah.
So essentially, it just happens at the bottom, like the brain stem and the spinal cord.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's
And then there is a treatment that you're on. That's every, was it
For me,
6 months or?
yeah. So the type of medication I take is like an IV kind
An
of
IV.
infusion
Right.
every 6 months,
Every 6 months.
which is very convenient. You know.
Yeah. It's better than, I don't know, medication every day maybe.
Yeah.
you know.
There's some people that actually do take medication every day or every week.
Depending on the severity of the case or the type of case.
I guess it's something the doctors would
Have
know.
to determine.
Yeah, I
yeah.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, right.
But I'm
And
grateful.
The
Yeah.
treatment is a bit expensive, no? Or
For
it is
me,
for us here.
yeah.
It's a different story, but
but
it
it
is
an
an expensive treatment.
It is.
so
Yeah.
we're grateful for having or being in Kuwait
Oh yeah.
for the free healthcare.
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
Well, what other challenges did you face, and how did it affect your
perhaps lifestyle.
education?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
with MS, obviously, if it's affecting your brain,
Right.
it affects your cognitive abilities.
Cognitive abilities.
So sometimes
What were you studying again in the UK?
psychology. Yeah,
Psychology.
yeah.
Okay.
And now I'm actually going towards health psychology.
What is the difference?
So now health psychology focuses on
Like
the well-being of
the well-being of the brain, the mind.
of any patient, that is going through physical illnesses.
Oh,
So
chronic
okay.
and the
illnesses.
motivation is literally you're
Exactly.
past with this challenge.
Yeah, exactly. So
Wow.
this made me think, what are the ways? And I think this is something that would help a lot of patients in Kuwait. That's something that I would like to.
What do you currently do for your daytime job? Do you work in
I'm-
psychology?
No, I've stopped now.
Okay.
I took a bit of a break.
You're on hiatus right now, or a
Hiatus.
sabbatical.
Sabbatical.
Okay, I like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
Is it because you are kind of like still in the kind of like stage where figuring out what you want next, or is it because of the MS?
No, actually, it's because I've already gotten the university acceptance offer.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
now I'm just taking it relaxed until I start.
Are you going for a master's then?
Inshallah. Yeah.
Inshallah, that's good.
So what do you, I mean, what do you envision of doing after? And I mean, what's your focus? I mean, it seems
Is
like
there
you're,
like an end goal?
yeah, it seems like you're an advocate for mental health now, or health in general.
Yeah.
Is that what you want? Is that route you're trying to take, or advocate? For
Yeah,
this?
yeah, definitely. So I mean, the thing that really attracts me to health psychology is the holistic view of health.
Okay.
So health, you've got the biological, obviously, the
Great.
component,
Yeah.
but you've also got mental health, the mental well-being.
The part that most people neglect.
Exactly.
Yeah, the sad truth. Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I'm passionate about, I guess.
And
Without being too cheesy.
I believe another thing that would help with your condition is working out and exercise.
Definitely.
And you come from a family of athletes.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of athletes?
So my dad is actually in America now doing a triathlon.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's nice.
If you've heard of Ironman triathlons.
Yeah.
So, mashallah, it inspires me, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you next on the list? Is that what you want to do?
No, I don't think so.
It's a bit too extreme.
It's a bit extreme, yeah.
But you do the workouts, and it does help you.
Definitely,
with the MS.
I would say any other patient with MS, I wouldn't recommend doing too intense workouts.
Right.
Keep it a bit light.
Light.
And in Kuwait, I wouldn't do it outdoors.
Yeah, moderation is key.
Moderation is key.
Moderation is key.
Especially in Kuwait.
Yeah, especially in Kuwait.
Yeah, and about this point, so heat is actually really bad for MS patients.
Okay.
How is that a factor?
So I don't know, for some reason it brings back the symptoms.
Brings back the symptoms.
Yeah.
Wow.
So-
So we need to send you far away
exactly.
to the
North Pole.
the North Pole.
Yeah.
Keep him there.
Keep him there.
All right, let's go on a quick break.
yeah.
And we'll be right back to continue this beautiful discussion.
Thank you.
We're back on the show, continuing our conversation with Mohammed Waheedi. So I understand you studied psychology,
Yes.
but it wasn't really something you truly chose, right?
No.
So how did that come?
It chose you.
Yeah, it
It
chose
chose
you.
me, exactly.
How did that happen? Like you were looking at a list of scholarships maybe, and then you were like, psychology.
So I come from a family that there's pharmacists everywhere. My dad actually
okay.
teaches pharmacy in
All right.
As
university.
well, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
You're
my
from the
sister's a
pharmaceutical-
pharmacist.
yeah.
So he's passionate about pharmacy. I wasn't, but he kind of what's the word? He kind of pushed me into it.
Into also pursuing pharmaceuticals?
Also, yeah. So I
Okay.
started as a biology major in
I see.
in the US.
Okay.
And then when I got to a certain course,
Okay.
You're
I
like,
still remember it, cell
Okay.
biology.
Cell biology. And
was
you were
it.
like, no.
That was it.
Not
Yeah,
my
I
cup
was
of
like,
But wait, you started in the US. You said.
yeah.
What made you go all the way to the UK?
UK.
better education.
UK.
Do you want to start a war? Okay.
Well, UK. I was actually born in the UK, so
Oh, okay. It
so-
feels like home.
yeah, not
Okay.
Kuwait, of course.
Right.
But it's still, I'm more familiar with.
Familiar with the
The
UK. So then I guess the question should be, why did you go to the US in the first place?
Just something new.
Just
I was
something new,
17
okay.
at the time. Yeah.
All right.
That's
all right.
discovering something,
Yeah.
a new
Yeah.
journey, essentially.
Yeah.
I think I'm a psychology major as well, and honestly, I would have said the exact same thing. I really have no idea why I chose
Why
it.
would you guys study something
I
just so
really-
random?
And you know,
Yeah.
because literally, you know, when he told you like list of scholarships, and you just choose one. Well,
Yeah.
I didn't have the scholarship, but I was in a list of majors, and I just scrolled down. I was like, I like biology. What's the closest thing to biology? Psychology. Let's do it. That was literally my decision-making process.
Wouldn't it have made sense to just study biology?
I couldn't have because I don't have the A levels and whatnot. Anyway, it's your
It's
episode, not mine.
about you now. It's about
That's
you.
All right.
interesting. I didn't do A levels either.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway,
But,
so we both jumped to psychology, and so was psychology what you expected it to be?
No, actually, it's better than I expected it. So
Okay.
I really like the topic,
You loved
And
it after
yeah,
starting
yeah.
it.
and now the path of health psychology it's even something closer
that's
to
deep.
home now. Yeah.
What's your
yeah.
favorite part of psychology? And you were studying it.
There's like I said, the holistic
The
approach.
holistic
Yeah.
approach.
But also, in a way, you're studying about yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and with therapies, with that kind of mental
Yeah.
health support, it's all about educational. So you're teaching people about their own mind. You know what I mean? So if
Yeah.
I'm learning it, it's a win-win. So I'm
Right.
learning about my mind.
I think
and
the biggest myth I think about psychology is whenever I meet someone and I'm like, yeah, I study psychology, the first question they have to all ask you
What?
is,
are
can
you
you read me?
analyzing?
can you
Yeah.
analyze
That's
me?
not.
Can you read me? And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Isn't that a behavioral
no,
analyst?
you cannot. They don't teach you that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think what you learn is more about like you learn a little bit of the human's brain, a kid's brain,
Yeah.
memory, mental health,
Exactly.
disorders,
Yeah,
etc.
yeah.
But no one teaches you how to read people. That's just personal
No,
curiosity.
that's behavioral analyst, and that's a different major.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just high emotional intelligence. I mean, where you actually can read people.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of branches of psychology, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you kind of like went into that field, and then essentially down the line at university, you kind of felt that, hey, listen, I'm having a few issues and problems and so on. And then you came back to Kuwait, and then you still faced the MS symptoms, right? It just went from your hand to your leg.
Yeah.
And then that's when you kind of like, you got diagnosed before that. Before it gets to your leg, right?
No, that was when I got diagnosed. So
Okay.
the thing is with MS, there's actually 3 types of MS.
Okay.
There's relapse remitting, which is
Okay.
the most common one.
Okay.
And then there's the progressive. So primary, secondary, progressive.
Okay.
And that's progressive is when it's just getting worse and worse. But most people have the relapsing remitting.
Is
Okay.
that what you have?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Which means that it happens and then it goes away.
Fair.
And the other one
and
stays?
you recover and then it comes back.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, the hand, it went away and I felt like I'm back to normal.
Normal.
Yeah.
But then when it happened to
Comes
my
back.
leg, I knew that was something
Yeah,
going on. Yeah.
Was it always on one side of the body? Was it your right arm and then the right leg?
It was, yeah.
Is that like a fact? Is that like a thing?
I
That's
don't know.
One
Honestly.
side.
I haven't. I think so.
You think so?
Yeah, it's definitely.
But what's the sensation there? I mean, actually, what do you feel? Is it numbness? Is it not feeling it completely? I mean,
Yeah. So
Couldn't walk, maybe.
yeah, with walking it was balance. My balance
Balance.
was atrocious. It was really bad.
Interesting.
But tingling, weakness. For me, I used to run a lot, and that's when I caught it. I was running, and one leg just wouldn't.
Wasn't working the way it should.
Yeah, by 3 minutes, that's it. It was dragging,
oh wow,
and that's when it hit me. There's something serious going on, you know.
And it's not
'Cause-
even gradual. It just happened out of nowhere that time.
Yeah.
So assuming, I mean, anything, God forbid, like anything was to happen now, for example, I mean, would you be able to speculate that something is going to come my way where something's going to go numb, or
Doug, like, do you
or
have
is it sudden?
Are you asking if he has a vision of that?
No, because you know why? Because my friend, I have a friend that's epileptic, and she actually gets
Yeah.
a panic attack sometimes before, so she should almost be able to
Yeah.
expect it now.
The spidey senses.
Yeah, it's like literally she built
Yeah,
it. Like, but I mean, that's
yeah.
because over time. you have
I've
to-
heard about that. Yeah, there's some people that say they can taste
Wow.
a different, like a metallic taste before they
Wow,
have the
interesting.
epileptic. Yeah,
That's actually very
I
interesting.
wonder what contributes to the metallic taste.
I have no idea.
Something.
Yeah,
That's
but with
interesting.
MS you wouldn't, and
So it just happens.
Just
it happens, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't focus too much on it, you know, because
Of course,
sometimes your body feels weird, but you don't want to always remember that.
It
Remind
becomes a
yourself.
placebo, you know? I mean,
Exactly.
technically, it's like anything will happen to you, and then you start expecting it, and it's the
Exactly.
expectation that drives you down, and there's nothing in reality. It's just an
Right.
expectation.
Yeah.
So, is it a medication they had to take? We said the IV, right? So you had.
Yeah, that's every 6 months, but definitely the lifestyle makes a huge difference.
So that's what you really were committed to that.
The
You really committed to both the lives that you completely changed everything in your life as a result.
it takes a lot of discipline. So
Yeah.
I'm actually curious because it seems
so
like you have it.
It's like, how did you form the discipline? Or was it because I kind of have to if I want to feel
Yeah.
okay, right?
Yeah, but okay, to be honest, I haven't been doing the things that I was doing
Okay.
previous. So I was feeling a bit down the last couple months
Okay.
Yeah.
because I know that I wasn't taking care of myself as I should, you know?
Were you relying on the IV for every 6 months and not do anything else?
Maybe like
Maybe.
subconsciously, like just
Subconsciously.
being secure about
Is it acceptable to just rely on the medication and live
No.
your life? No.
Well, you're still living your life, just more of a healthy lifestyle.
Okay.
So with nutrition, that's the biggest thing. Stress can cause it to accelerate, so try to
Yeah.
have...
Seems like it's both a physical and a psychological
Oh, definitely. Definitely, yeah.
issue. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a model in health psychology called the biopsychosocial model.
Biopsychos.
So there's the biological factors.
Mm.
Your, say, vitamin D
Yes,
levels
yeah,
are
yeah.
low. That's
That's it.
so you can change that. With the psychological factors, I guess with managing emotions, stress, and also attitude, your
Right.
attitude to the illness, any chronic illness.
Right.
Okay.
And then the social, which is actually extremely important. You have to have a solid social support system.
That's
So-
what about was my follow-up question. Who
Yeah.
supports you?
Yeah,
Who's
definitely.
backing you?
So
Friends and family?
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm lucky to have really close.
That's good.
You know, family, relatives.
That understand what you go through.
Exactly, and I feel like there's a point where you have to be a little bit vulnerable with them.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, you have to be
Wouldn't you-
okay talking about how you really
right,
feel.
Right.
Yeah.
And we always have that issue, especially in our culture, to be
Exactly.
vulnerable
Yeah.
as a man, even,
Yeah,
you
100%.
know, to express your emotions, your difficulties in life. So I commend you on that, you know.
Thank you.
Were you actually in a situation where you're being very vulnerable about your situation, and then someone, instead of, so you saw a different reaction to what you expected, a reaction that was actually very
Yeah. With my
Ignorant,
aunts and
perhaps.
uncles. Ignorant?
no, not ignorant. No, I mean it's more like, I'll tell you what happened to me. So if I was to sit with people, and usually people would mention depression, anxiety, and so on.
Yeah.
And people would always, the reason I said ignorant is because some people would start to tell you, I mean, get out of your head, it's nothing.
Yeah,
Come on, you're just,
Right, yeah,
it's just.
they downplay what
yeah.
you're going through,
Yeah, and that's
because
why-
they don't understand what you're
yeah.
going through.
So,
Exactly, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and mental health awareness isn't really the
Yeah.
best in our culture.
Yeah, so I have actually had that with anxiety. So I got someone telling me, no,
yeah.
it's all in your head or whatever.
Right.
And
The MS is in your head?
yeah, exactly. That was before I was diagnosed. I was like,
Okay.
yeah.
It's
anyway.
like you only feel like that because it's in your head.
Yeah.
Your right arm is fine.
Man, that'd be so.
Yeah.
But
so
I'm
bad.
lucky for having my sister, which is also studied abroad. I
Nice.
can talk to her about
That's good. That's good.
things. And a very important point is patients with MS, and they don't know why, but it's very likely that they have depression or anxiety. So
Okay.
I would definitely,
So therapy is an essential part of it.
and I would say medication. There's something called SSRIs,
Yes.
if you know them. So
Yeah.
that includes the serotonin. So stands for selective serotonin intake
If
reuptake.
you have a deficiency in that because of the depression, all that would help.
Exactly.
The serotonin would help.
Serotonin helps a lot.
Yeah.
So I would
Supposedly.
definitely-
So
Supposedly.
if people out there in the world are actually facing, whether it's mental illnesses in general or MS specifically, what would you say as someone that's like a champion in this? I mean, what would you say they should do to change, to work on themselves?
Yeah. How would they improve?
Yeah. So workouts is very important, right? And live a healthy lifestyle in general. Don't smoke. Smoking can really
Yeah, definitely don't
Make
smoke. Definitely.
make it really bad,
Yeah.
specifically for MS, and other things anyway.
Mhm.
But yeah, I would just say live a healthy lifestyle, and that's the biggest thing. And also, stress can make it bad. So
Oh my
Try
god.
to.
Stress is the killer of
You know,
everything,
yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah,
Honestly.
yeah.
I've
But
seen
how
it
do you
firsthand.
escape stress? That's the big question.
I just,
meditation,
Meditation.
oh my god, I was actually
yoga.
as well, right? I was
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
looking into it this morning. I was like, you know what? Maybe yoga can help. And then I found a
Maybe.
class, I was like,
But
when
only if
can I
you
go?
do it properly. If you take it seriously.
Yeah. It's like when they ask you to stand on your neck, that's
On
when
your
you're
neck.
like, have you seen Power Yoga?
I think
it's
this
worse
is turning
than a-
into a different show right now.
worse than a gym workout. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, honestly, thank you so much for the beautiful, beautiful advice. I
Thank
think you have gone through a very, very nice
Yeah.
journey.
And thank you for sharing your story with us as well.
Absolutely. And I think so. The one takeaway we can, I guess, we take from you, I mean, for the audience, is that
Mm-hmm.
if they're facing any mental, we're talking in general, mental and mental illnesses.
Just talk to someone, honestly.
I think that's the
Talk to
part that people
someone.
don't.
That's the thing. Take the step
Yeah.
to talk to someone.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be a specialist. Could be your friend.
Yeah.
Talk to someone.
I think you just be selective of who you talk to, shouldn't
Yeah.
you? Because
exactly. Yeah.
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 Because I mean, some people I think talking to them would actually push you down rather than push you up.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think this is time to wrap up. So thank you for being part of this. All right, we'll wrap back with a wrap up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Here we go. Exactly as expected.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think, as we said earlier, mental health is a subject
Very,
that should
very
be
important.
should have more awareness. I
Yes.
think MS is something very specific.
People need to be in tune with their emotions
yeah.
rather than ignore them.
Yeah.
Because if you bottle things up, guess
Yeah.
what happens?
I mean,
It'll
exactly.
explode.
It's like a snowball, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it just grows behind
Or
you.
just a
and
can of soda. You keep shaking it and you open it and it's just
I like the examples, man.
yeah.
I like
yeah,
them. I
yeah.
like them.
Trust
I like
me, you don't need that in your life. Talk to someone, a friend, a brother, a sister, a sibling, anyone that you feel close
Absolutely.
to. Tell them. Share certain things about yourself. Be vulnerable.
Strength
There's nothing
is in the
wrong with
vulnerability.
that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, thank you for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you in the next one. Good night.
Good night.